You maybe have a 1-pack, a 2-pack or even a 4-pack right now, but your goal is to achieve this aesthetic 6-pack look. And for this you will have to make your lower abs more visible. Now, the good thing is, in this video I will show you step by step how you can do this, because I myself was able to make my lower abs visible without the best genetics for it. Because I mean, there's always that one kid who has abs effortlessly. He can eat and do whatever he wants to do and still is walking around with a 6-pack and visible lower abs year around. And I definitely wasn't this guy up until to this point. And in this video I will show you the secrets to this. Now, I right away want to say that this video is split up into 2 parts. Firstly, I will have to talk about our diet, and secondly about our training, because anyone who is saying that our training or only our diet is the most important thing to have visible abs, especially those lower ones, just isn't telling you the truth. Because if you're eating too much food, we can't out-train a bad diet, and we will never achieve the look that we actually want to achieve. But also on the other hand, if you have the perfect diet but aren't training your lower abs the right way, then you also aren't able to make them visible and make them look as good as they actually could. That's why I want to talk about both things. Then we can attack our lower abs from both sides and make sure that we will get the results that we want to get. Now, right away I want to start with the diet, because this is something I have struggled with the most. Therefore, I can also give you multiple tips which will help you to firstly find a way how you can lower your calorie intake, get leaner and get your abs to show without having to restrict yourself too much, and then also stick to your diet, because at the end of the day we don't just want to get our abs visible for a few weeks. We should want to have them visible all of the time up until to our 60s. I mean, this is a flex if you can walk around with a 6-pack at 60 years old. And now let me show you which diet will help you to achieve this. At the end of the day, the calories matter the most. We can follow the most fancy diet in this world, but if you go overboard with the calories, then this diet won't work. And on the other hand, we can also just follow a pretty simple diet, still be in a calorie deficit and lose the fat that we need to lose to get our abs to show. That's why I really like to simplify our diet, because many people are confused by it, because they think their diet has to be perfect and that there are so many factors which indicate whether you have a good diet or a bad diet. At the end of the day, if your goal is to have visible lower abs, you will just have to achieve a calorie deficit, and there are mainly 3 ways how we can achieve this. Firstly, it's of course tracking your calories, so weighting all of the foods you're eating and then putting this into MyFitnessPal or some different app. This allows you to also be flexible with your diet, so you can implement cheat meals because you know you're still in a calorie deficit because you're tracking all of the foods. But maybe you're someone who hates tracking, you can't be bothered with this, or maybe you also just don't have time because of work or school. That's why there are also 2 other strategies which are very powerful to lean down and get your abs to pop out more. The second one is actually fasting, so a very specific window in which you can eat food. This helps you to also stick to a lower calorie diet. For this, you actually don't have to track your calories. Still, be aware of the foods you're eating. I mean, I myself, I can go overboard with only 1 meal. If I'm eating junk food and all of those things, I will be in a calorie surplus. So still, be mindful with your eating. The good thing about fasting is that we usually still end up eating a bit less food, and this doesn't require us to track our calories. But I'm someone who actually loves eating breakfast, so this approach doesn't work for me. Therefore, there's also a third one, which I personally think is the most effective and has worked the best for me, and it is just eating high volume, low calorie foods. This means eating foods which fill up your plate but don't have a lot of calories. When you're eating foods like this, you actually don't even have to track them because they make you feel satisfied and you won't feel hungry. And this overall will lead to you just eating less food without without consciously having to think about it. So this definitely was the approach which has helped me the most with leaning down and getting to a body fat percentage which was enabling me to get my lower abs visible. Great, so now I've talked about the diet part, but as I said, not only our diet is important to achieve the look that we want to achieve, so this aesthetic six-pack look with the visible lower abs. For this, we really also have to do some training. And the problem is, many people are already training their abs, but they're doing the wrong exercises or with the wrong technique, which leads to them never actually hitting their lower abs. This also was a huge problem for me. I was doing ab exercises, I was following a good diet, but still somehow didn't get my lower abs visible. The reason for it was because my technique wasn't good. I didn't have a good mind-muscle connection and I was using too much momentum when doing these exercises. That's why I want to now show you the exercises and the technique which has helped me to build my lower abs up and make them look the way they look right now. Now, it's pretty simple. All of the exercises where you pull your legs up target your lower abs. My favorite go-to for this are leg raises. It's pretty simple. You just need a bar, hang from it and pull your legs up. You don't even have to go to the gym to do this. It's just important that you actually don't do the movement too fast, because this otherwise makes you use other muscle groups and not even target your lower abs. So you actually should start feeling a huge burn in your lower abs when doing this exercise. Maybe when you start doing this exercise, it's even too difficult to do a full leg raise. Then I recommend you to start with knee raises. So just pull your knees up. This also targets your lower abs. And if it helps you to even have a better mind-muscle connection and better form for this exercise, it's totally worth leaving your ego at home and actually doing the exercise right. Because this will give you the results that you want to get. Now, for my lower abs, I actually wasn't doing a lot of volume. I'm someone who believes in short but intense training. And also for my abs, I was using this principle. So I was only doing about 3 sets of leg raises per week. Of course, I'm also doing some additional ab exercises every week, but overall I don't do more than 6 sets per week, and out of these 6, 3 of them at least are leg raises, because I know it's way harder to train and build up my lower abs than the upper ones. That's why I prioritize it. And because you've clicked on this video and this shows me that you also want to get your lower abs more visible, then I also recommend you to prioritize lower ab training and just do very intense but short workouts, because those don't require a lot of discipline and willpower and will help you to actually keep your results. Because that's actually the last thing I want to talk about in this video, and it is keeping those results. So many people, when they actually achieve the six-pack look they always have wanted to, they stop with the routine which helped them to make their abs visible, and then a week later they're gone again and they have to redo all of the work. And this is something I really don't want you to do, and I don't want you to experience. I want you to just follow a routine which is sustainable for you, which isn't too difficult to stick to, otherwise you won't be able to do it for a long time. You really should want to be able to follow this routine up until you're old, so up until your 60s. That's why some very easy and simple principles for your diet are helpful, and also short and intense exercises that you can do everywhere. So at the end of the day, only small changes are required to be able to get your lower abs visible. Most people just don't know which changes are needed, and for those who know, they can't follow it for a long time. But with the principles I've talked about in this video, I can guarantee you, you'll be able to get your lower abs visible and keep them visible. Now, if you found this video helpful, I would appreciate it a lot if you would like and subscribe. And if you're interested in my free diet plan with some high volume, low calorie foods I have talked about in this video, then you can go down to the link in the description and access to it for free. Then thank you for watching till the end, and I will see you in the next one.